Hey folks, and welcome on back to the wonderful world of building with Whip. Last episode we came through here and built that house right there, this house right here, this lovely tree, another house right here, yet another house right here, another house right here, and a big old tower. We did a lot of work in the last episode. Thank you all so very much for the support. Seems like some people are very, very excited to be back here in the city project. So thank you all so very much for that. If you want to see the city project continuing, please keep up that awesome support by leaving a like down below. I would very much appreciate all of the support from you all because that was absolutely awesome. But anyways, I have already been on here working for probably 7 hours. I would say 7 hours is pretty accurate because I did the interiors. I did the interiors for a lot of structures that we've been working on for quite a while, and I want to do a quick walkthrough with y'all here, check out a lot of these structures, and just kind of get y'all up to date on what I've been doing. This one down here was meant to be a grocery store, so I came in here and did a lot of detail work, added in some crops, I used the red netherwort block with an apple on top to make it look like a barrel of apples. Maybe here's some herbs that you can grab, and we got some blueberries with our blue coral block. Then around here we just have a bunch of other things. We got a little bit of scissor action going on with some shears. We got, I don't really know what the rest of those are, but there's just a bunch of stuff over here. I will say though, most of the ones I only did the first floor on them because I felt like why do the other ones? Because they're not why do the other ones, but I was trying to save some time because I already spent an entire day working on this. Then in here we have this is our little entry floor into the living area for the grocery store owner and their family. And then back here is their own personal kitchen where they can prepare some goods, do all that stuff that they have. Coming up here, we've got a lovely little entry hall area with a bit of a play area over here. Who knows what that really is, or I don't know, some sort of checkers board or something. Then a kid's bedroom with 2 beds, a little bit of storage stuff going on, some more storage up there. Looking absolutely fantastic. And coming over here into the parents' bedroom, which is pretty open right now. It is a pretty open concept bedroom for the parents, but that's totally fine. We're just going to leave that one as is for now. Let's move on over to the next house. Moving on to the next structure that I was working on. We'll jump into that one right there in just a sec. But I decided to jump across the street over here and build up a small tailor shop. So using a bunch of banners on the walls here showing that they have some cloth that they're working on. Maybe this is like a bust that they're trying to build a shirt for or something like that. So we got the little arms out there, the little legs, and some sort of a press or something if they're trying to press a setting into it or get everything all good and that kind of stuff. So you can activate it right there and just do all that stuff all you need, and it doubles as opening up that thing and closing it down. This one's pretty basic. There's no upper floor access on this one, as the upper floor of this building actually belongs to the inn, which is inside of that one, which I did a little bit of like a beer tasting entry hall of sorts. Over here, we have the jewelry shop, which is kind of a fancy boutique-y shop, so there's not too much on display. Over here, we have a nice little sitting area, so you want to make sure the guests are comfortable and that they actually want to spend thousands of their golds or emeralds or whatever it might be buying your gemstones. And so over here we got a nice little tiny one being the sunflower. I thought it looked kind of like a gem of sorts. We got an ender pearl, we got glowstone dust, we've got all these little bits and bobs and things, and then back here is just some more decorative stuff. That's supposed to be yellow. I don't really know why that changed color. But yeah, that's something that happened. In here, I wanted to be a very open concept. The upper floor, it's not done, but I did set up the staircase to get ourselves up there and kind of started to block it off with a few railings. So it looks like it's completed. We'll come back to those ones eventually later on. But I want to focus on getting the base floors of these all done. Move over to this one. We've got a nice little beer tasting area or kitchen area for the people staying in the inn. So we've got the small little, like the pot of whatever they're cooking right over there. There's a small little area for the chef to work or whatever back in this spot. Fill up the drinks and everything. I know it's a very small kitchen. And then over here, we've just got some more seating areas using some scaffolding as tables. And coming up to the top, I created a wall and not much else so far up here. Coming across the street, I didn't quite know what I wanted to fill in this area yet, so I left that one blank for now. Give me some ideas for what we can fill with this house. A lot of people said like a bakery of sorts, because we have this and it kind of reminded them of a grain silo, and we could turn this into a bakery and turn that into a much, much larger spot right there, and maybe drop this floor down if it's a bakery so that we can have a bigger ceiling to work with. But anyways, coming back over to the side, I believe this is a candle maker's shop, so using a bunch of sea pickles sitting on here, that looks like a hot bunch of wax that we're dipping the sea pickle being a candle into, and that can be sucked out of the steam right there. And then we got some more stations using some repeaters and comparators to also symbolize candles, and of course our end rod being one that's like held upside down, that's kind of like solidifying still, so that's like the wax dripping off of it. The upstairs on this, again, not completed. Probably just need to stop saying that because that's the case with everything. This spot inside of here, our llamas really, really like it because they, do we really have to do this, guys? This one in here is a dye shop, so it's very, very cool. I thought it was kind of a unique way of showing things. That's supposed to be standing straight up. I keep accidentally walking into that because, you know, it's scaffolding, so you can walk right through the block and then activate the pressure plate, closes that thing down. And then back here is just like a little closet area for themselves, so no back doors or anything like that to get through to the back alleyway. But then coming up here, our wandering trader absolutely loves this spot. He even sells some cyan dye. Are you the shop owner? Are you the shop owner? Yeah, that one's pretty much on the basic side, but I like it still. This house over here is still open as well, so give me some more ideas for this one, what it can be as like a trade down in the base. That's what the house looks like. I think it's a pretty cool one. Over here, we have a herbalist shop, so they have a bunch of plants in here. You can buy your melons, you can buy some berries, potatoes, carrots, whatever you might want. There's a bunch of plants and everything back here. And they actually have a full back garden that we built a very, very long time ago where they're growing some more of their plants and things, which I thought was very cool. So I was thinking about almost putting some fence gates in here so it looks like they kind of manage this entire area and it's part of the shop continued into the back alley, which could be kind of nice. And that is the final interior that I was able to finish up. This one here, a lot of people are saying we could turn it into a school of sorts, which I thought was a kind of cool idea. I just need to actually get around to doing that one, so I might do that here in a little bit, because as you can all probably tell, I'm still a little stuffed up, unfortunately. Working through all that stuff here, and unfortunately gonna go see a doctor about it, because, you know, healthcare matters, and I should probably be healthy after being stuffed up and everything for 2 weeks now. But these ones are open. I actually got the floors inside of this so we can walk all the way up to the top of the tower, which is pretty sweet. And we can get a really cool view of the city actually from all the way up here. It's just kind of empty on each floor for now. I hate filling in the individual floors of like a tower like this because I'm always like, what do we include in there? But you can get some really cool shots of the city from up here. I think it looks super sweet. We actually can get a very, very cool point of looking around the city just from flying around right now. With the new additions to the skyline, it looks pretty amazing. But today, I know we are a good way into the video at this point. Today, I want to focus on building up this house right here. One thing a lot of people said that we haven't really included anywhere inside of this city yet is a balcony. So I was thinking we can make a really cool one of kind of that goes around this side right here. And then we have a balcony kind of hanging over the street a little bit along the entire area right like that. So it could be a cool way for people to like look out over the entire street corner. And I think from up here, it'll really add a cool element to the viewpoint of this area here specifically, because this is one of my favorite views of the entire city at this point in time. Taking a screenshot of that one right there. And yeah, so I'm gonna get around to working on this one, and as soon as I get a little bit of an update and I can actually talk normally, I'll be back with y'all. All right, I've been working on this structure a little bit here. The base is in. I think I'm just leaving it stone for now. I brought in some of our smooth stone right here to make it a little bit cleaner and easier to tell where the road is versus where our little sidewalk, I guess we can call it, is. Then, of course, this is sticking out very, very far because we want to be doing that balcony. And I know it takes up part of the roadway, but it doesn't take up so much of the road that we can't do anything. Because, like, it's still staying within this line, which is kind of what I've been envisioning as like the curb, and then the sidewalk is here. So all the carts would be staying in between these, and any people or storage or wagons or like market stalls, I guess, not wagons, would be on our little side bits that we have. So that's kind of the idea that I'm going for with this one. I've been coming through here, and I think that we can add a few of these along the base to help it not look so flat. I like using those stairs in there instead of using like a full block or a slab or anything, because I think it gives a good amount of variety to the structure, but it also makes this area look like it's very much just sticking out. But I think as we build it up, it's going to feel a little bit cleaner and better as we're kind of moving forwards. Now, for the actual structure of this one, I wanted to have like a railing out where those blocks are right now, and then the actual build itself is going to be back in this area. So we're going to be doing some dark oak logs sticking up like that, and then we're going to be doing some stripped spruce logs coming along here. And I think I'm going to take these just to be every 5, so it's a little bit of difference versus what we have below. So that's 5 right there, and then we can bring in our dark oak and then continue this another 5 along. And that brings us to this point right here where I think instead of it being just like along this dark oak edge, I'm just going to bring these 2 back in right like this and just do something right here. Get this grass block that's just kind of doing its own thing, and then bring ourselves back up a little bit more. And this would be 6 right here, but let's just fill that in, and then we can bring in another dark oak one right here. And I think that'll be a good way of breaking it up so it doesn't just look like these little things are echoed right in there, and it feels a little bit smoother as we go. What we could do is shorten that one to be 3, and then create another 3 right in there to help even it a little bit more. Maybe I'll do that one. All right, I've got our next level on here, and it unfortunately is getting very, very dark at the top point, so a few mobs are spawning, so just dropping a few torches up there. But this is what we have so far. I decided to bring in a bunch of oak leaves here to help brighten this up, because it felt like with the spruce and the dark oak, it was getting a little too dark compared to everything else around here. But I like it. I like that it's a little bit on the darker side, and we're actually going to be going into that even further. I think for the roof up here, which you can see I've kind of started to etch it out a little bit further, is we have a bunch of like this weird shape. It's about 9 blocks wide, I think, where it's just kind of inching up 1 block at a time and dropping down 1 block at a time. And we actually need to come over here and get rid of all of these lovely guys too, and just take this thing directly up here to this point. Looks like a little wrong on that one. We actually want to leave these 2 corner ones down and then bring the rest of this up into the point where it's just going to come all the way up to right there, and that should be pretty good. And we can actually throw a tiny little window right in here that won't be getting too much light, but I think from the inside it'll make things look a little bit more interesting. And what I want to do for this roof actually is I was thinking dark prismarine. We haven't used it too much inside of the city, but I love the tiled feeling it gets. To give y'all an example, let's fly all the way up here and take a quick gander at the city. There's a dark prismarine one, there's another one, and there's another one, and that's kind of all we have. But that green is really cool, and it's a natural Minecraft texture, which I'm really down for. I don't know how much of the stuff I have left though. I gotta say, this view here with adding in those back houses there with that roof line just extending even further, especially with this big old tower that we added in, it's starting to look really cool. A lot of people said that we should throw a second tower in right there to be a bell tower or something. I don't think I'm gonna do that because I think it would get way too busy if we added 2 of them in there. That's why I wish there was like things like world edit, like I had that inside of this world, so I could quickly just copy that, move it over there, and show y'all that like, hey, it's really busy here if we have 2 of them, and kind of get a better idea of what it might look like, instead of just being like, well, guys, I think it's gonna be too busy. Where would dark prismarine be though? And that's not enough. That's not nearly enough. Okay, it's time to go get a shulker box of ink from our dwindling ink supplies and head on over to the ocean monument. Coming down here into the storage room real fast over in Papyrus, we can see if we're getting any luck at all with some prismarine, and no. Do we have any here? Well, we got a lot of prismarine bricks. Any of these? 3 shards. Yeah, that's not gonna do. Hey, we got some sea lanterns though. That's kind of nice. How's the ink situation looking here? Because we need ink, not black dye. That's okay. I think we can get some more. Let's just grab, do we have any extra shulkers in here? We have, that's just a plain one. That's not being used at all. Let's go pick this guy up, and we got to get over to the ocean monument. Before we do that, however, this old snack station right here that was for the arena, which was our previous iron farm, was actually an ink farm itself. It no longer works with 1.13, but it is still full of a good amount of ink here. So we can thankfully use this to get ourselves everything we can need. So if we bring a whole shulker box of the ink with us, that's going to be pretty good. I got to get a new one of these set up because obviously we've already went through basically half of it. And that's not very good. I have not been back to this gross monstrosity of a project that we did way back when. I'm very glad I did it back then. Don't think I would do it again now, but I would love to be able to get all of this water along the side so it just doesn't have these gross sand walls. Feel like that would look much better. I have an idea for a project that we could do eventually here, but it's like a big eventually because it's a huge project, and it would involve replacing all of that glass to make it actually look nice and everything. But down here we have a big old functional storage room for all of this stuff, which is very nice. Keeps track of everything you could possibly need. Got my shulker box down here, and we should hopefully see a few of these guys drop down. Looking at a few of these things, it actually looks like we need the black dye instead of ink sacks for this, which isn't a huge problem because all we have to do is this, and now we got a full stack, and then we can do that, and we got a full stack of the dark prismarine. So it's going to take a while. I'm going to craft up this whole shulker box, hopefully, and then we'll get moving on forwards because I've got a lot of this stuff. I think it's almost all the way full. Yeah, this whole line and everything over there is full of prismarine shards, so we can definitely do at least 1 shulker box. Well, I've got the whole shulker box of dark prismarine now, and a few more squishy snacks that we can use for ourselves, but I forgot to bring more rockets, and I do not have my rocket shulker box in my under chest. So I've got a little bit of a swim here ahead of me. I think I have a nether portal over here at one of our really, really old bases that we did when 1.13 came out. I wanted to work underwater for a bit. Yeah, we made this little statue thing, and then we turned this into a bit of like a coral reef. Oh man, this is bringing back memories. This is really old. Who remembers this one? We spent only like 3 or 4 episodes over here building up just like a full little survival base. Yeah, we've got some kelp down in here, I think, or some sort of it. No, it's just, yeah, there's a little bit of a manual kelp farm down there. We've got a bunch of other little random little caves and things hidden over here. Like I think back here was the smeltery area. Yep. We've got some storage that maybe we have some goodies down here. Ooh, that glass, I'll take that. There's some stone, there's some coral, that's pretty nice. And there's a lot of prismarine, that's pretty cool. Okay, maybe we do come back over here every once in a while and see if there's some more loot. There's like even a full enchanting setup back there. But I believe the nether portal is back this way. Yes, there it is. Perfect. I know the sun is setting right now, but we got the cloud horse in the sky and it's looking pretty epic. I've got the top on here. The only thing I feel like we are needing is a chimney, of course, on this structure here to make it a little bit more interesting and to break up. That just doesn't look too great back there with the spruce and the dark oak. So I want to see the ways that we can add a few more textures and things like that to it. But very quickly, while we are here, where can I grab, what were we using? We were using some orange stained glass panes. We can jump up to the top and add in a few detail bits here very quickly to the roof designs. One thing people consistently ask me about is how to make roofs more interesting because they get bored of this just flat stuff right here. So what we want to do is you can see right below me, there's another window right here. And let's go over like 2 blocks so it's just not exactly even to where those are. Break that out, break you out, bring in a little bit of our dark oak action right here. So we can do some dark oak stair and then another dark oak stair right here. And that's going to make a cool little bit of a platform bit for us in here. And then we can connect that up with a slab. Actually, before we do that, let's get some right here below us. Then again, that slab on the top and just throw in the stained glass pane right there. That's going to make it look a little bit more prominent. So it's going to stand out a lot more because it has the dark oak in there. So if we added one there, maybe we add another one in right here. We add 1 or 2 onto the other side, and it's just going to break up your roof so it's not just flat across. And that's kind of all you really need. They're not too complicated. I know that top roof bit I did up there is a little crazy wonky looking. I just started having some fun with it and figured we'd go with that. All right, I finished the structure, added some extra details to it. I've been flying around trying to find my spruce leaf shulker box. I did find these 3, which was pretty nice. So we got some extra stuff in here. And by the way, the city looks amazing from the dark right now. I love this. I think that's so freaking cool. But what I'm thinking we'll do to finish off today's episode, if I can find that shulker box, otherwise I gotta go gather some spruce trees first. But this structure's looking pretty fancy. I like it a lot. I think it turned out very, very well. I do want to come in throughout here and add in a few more details and get these torches off of the floor and just get some lanterns and things around there to light up the area. But I was thinking along this area over here where we kind of have this little section, I was thinking it might be kind of cool to, instead of throwing a building right back in here, we throw a bit of like a plant potter of sorts just on this little end. So we bring it back like, say like right here, and then have it coming like, this would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe we actually cut it off right here at this point. So we just have a tiny plant potter and we build a spruce tree or 2 inside of it. I thought that could be kind of a cool idea to get something in here that's a little bit more unique and different than just throwing another building in, because I feel like having a tree right there and then a smaller building right behind it could be kind of a cool way to go with it. So I'm going to work on that one. Probably got a little time lapse going, but first and foremost, I need to actually find some spruce leaves. I may have kind of snuck another house build into there to be able to get that one completed. I felt like building the trees and making them all round when we were going to shove them up right next to the house was a little weird, so I figured why not build the house first. I've been doing a little bit of cleanup work, getting all my shulker boxes as we are headed out of here for the day, and I lost a few more of my scaffolding on the top. I slowly just dwindle a stack down. We've lost 4 of them to the roofs of the building throughout this area. I detailed out the building a little bit more. I'm still kind of working on it. I kind of forgot to add in some of the oak leaves over on this side, but I've kind of put everything away already. Actually, you know, I can grab some. I've got like my lovely tree box where I was searching for some spruce leaves, and unfortunately I only had less than a stack, which was not nearly enough to be able to get this stuff done. But let's go ahead and grab another little bit of a leaf guy right there. That'll be totally fine. And that is good enough for me for today. I got the commenter question in my inventory right here, ready to go. We're getting back on another one of these. And this one's coming in here from Marcel Pruis. They're saying, hey, Whip, you should build a shipyard down by the docks so that ships can be repaired or new ships could be made. Quickly walking by this one over here, I have had plans to do a bit of a dry dock area. Also, I absolutely love this house. I randomly came up with it, but I think it worked out great. But I've had an idea of, I've been wanting to across, like, so we have this big area here, like the big canal system. I've always wanted to have this area right here hold like a few big dry docks that we could have some pretty large, probably ships about the size of that one right there, being built, or somewhere where they could be repaired or worked on, everything like you're talking about there, which would be over in this vicinity. I think we could get that started. I don't know if we can finish it before the world tour, since Optifine is very, very close. So let me know if you want to see that build worked on next, or if you want to see this part of the city. So shipyard or marketplace. We're going to be building a small marketplace leading from the road right here. Is going to be coming through to a little bit of a market down in this area. We'll add in some market stalls and stuff, build up the buildings around it, and have the road spit out back down to that point. I think it could be really fun. Got in some more food over here. Not fully running out. I swear, people, I actually get some of this stuff done. And yeah, I think that could be really cool. So shipyard or marketplace for a future project, which we should be tackling next. But next episode, what we're actually going to be doing is I want to build up that little tiny village right there. Those blueprints have been down for ever. So I think we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be coming around here revisiting a little bit of White Glen, because I've been seeing a lot of comments saying that we need to fill a lot of the empty spaces, like this thing right here, and we've got a little bit of empty space right over here as well. But that's going to have to do it for today's episode. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are brand new, and I will catch you on the flip side.